There was a niche that I was contemplating getting into, and it was going to be a higher ticket niche. It was going to be a higher level of service. I knew that I could get results for these guys, but I had a lot of hesitance pulling the trigger and going into that niche because I really like my lifestyle. I have prioritized, after prioritizing business for years and just completely burning myself out. When I took a break, took 4 or 5 year break and just kind of relaxed, and I came back into things, and I'm like, my lifestyle is number one. I do have some health issues. I have a hard time with energy management. Yeah, I have ADHD and all of that, but I do have some physical limitations where I just can't work the way that I in my 20s, I'd be working from the time I got up till 3 a.m. and then go to bed and start it all over again. And I loved it. And I have friends right now that are in their very early 30s and they work like that. And I'm like, good for you. I remember being there. I can't do that anymore. So I built the business that I have now, Handmade Sellers Club, around being able to manage my energy, not putting too much on my plates. That's why we have the team is here. And so I was looking at this other niche because I'm like, I'd like to kind of play in another arena. And this niche is kind of being handed to me on a silver platter, but I don't know if I want to be there or not. And I'm really concerned that I'm going to do things that I have already decided are hard no's, right? That delivering for this niche was going to force me to do things that I don't want to do. Like, I don't want to be on sales calls. That's not something that I want to do. That's going to exhaust me. My energy levels can't keep up with it. And it's not something I want to do. So I was at a mastermind meeting and I was saying, like, hey, I'm interested in this other niche. I'm not sure if it's a good fit for me or not. I have hard lines of things that I do not want to do. And I feel like I'm going to have to do these in this niche. But maybe I'm just being a whiny crybaby and that sort of thing. And like, I'm not quite sure what I should do. And I got some good advice from people during the mastermind. And one of the members of the mastermind, I had a conversation with him a couple of weeks later where I was like, hey, if I go into this niche, I'm thinking about charging this. What do you think I should do? And he's a very smart marketer. He's a great mentor. But when he got on the call, he said, all of these things that you're talking about, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're not going to do that. And these are things that specifically I know that I cannot do and be healthy and happy, right? I have friends that are in a similar business and I watch them in their business and I'm like, that looks miserable. That's just not the kind of, like, imagine making a product that you absolutely hate and that's the product that you have to build, and like, you're going to hate the business, right? Because you don't like the product. He said, all that stuff you said you're not going to do, that's all bull crap. You got to do it, and you're going to do it. Like, you have to go after this bigger niche because of this and that, and you have to do all the things that you don't want to do. Like, he was basically telling me to pull up my big girl pants and just suck it up and do it. And so I and this was recently, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. I just have to suck it up and do it. I just have to do it. And I sat back a couple of weeks later and I'm like, bullcrap. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to sacrifice myself and my well being for a business because this one business owner could only see the business being run that particular way. And because that's his experience and that's how he sees business being run, he doesn't see another way. So he thinks he's giving me excellent advice. But I can see how I can run business another way. We've done it with Handmade Sellers Club. I'm able to manage this business. We're able to go on vacations. I don't have to make phone calls. Like, there's all kinds of advantages to running a business the way that I am here. And we're making money doing this. And why can't we just do more of this? And for him, that's not possible. You have to do it his way. So I think that what this all comes down to, and it's really difficult because there's a fine line between kind of protecting your comfort zone versus protecting your happiness, right? So I get advice from very successful business owners, and I've worked with some really smart people, some really, really smart people that I highly admire, but their values are different than mine. and their energy levels are different than mine, and their experience is different than mine. And that can help inform me, and I can start to see things from different perspectives because I'm hearing from them. They're able to look at my business from the outside looking in and show me things that I may not realize, but I don't have to do things exactly their way. If they're, morning, noon, and night, all I do is work, 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 you've got to be on 10 sales calls a day. There are alternatives to that. I don't have to do that. And I can be really true to who I am and build my business that way. Now, that's different than I'm choosing not to do my business a certain way because learning a new thing is slightly uncomfortable. It's not going to necessarily make me unhappy. It's not going to wear me out, but it's just a new skill, and new skills are uncomfortable. And now I have to try and do something a slightly different way. And that's a little uncomfortable. So it's really a balancing act between having principles and standards and boundaries for your life versus saying no because something crosses that boundary, to still being open and saying yes to being pushed out of your comfort zone. So, a brand new ad strategy that I've never done before. I still struggle with like making reels and doing the short form content. That is not crossing a boundary. It's just uncomfortable, right? So I'm not like, oh man, I can't do reels because I'll be exhausted. I can totally do reels and not be exhausted. It is completely within my capability of doing them. So it's about being honest with yourself. And any of this bad business advice that I got, it wasn't really bad advice. It wasn't bad advice for that person. And it's probably not bad advice for somebody else, but it was bad advice for me because it crossed boundaries. But also trying to keep an open mind of, is this a boundary or am I just uncomfortable because it's something new?